So, you're just browsing the internet, and you see something. A photo, maybe a video. It's of someone famous, let's say, the Pope in one of those puffy jackets, and looking super stylish. It looks real, unbelievably real. You laugh, you share it, and you move on with your life. But wait a minute. Was it really real? Probably not. That picture, which got super popular, was a really well-made fake. How easy it is to make these fakes look so real is honestly scary. We used to say seeing is believing. Now seeing is just seeing, and believing. That's a whole other story, and a pretty suspicious one. Imagine a world not too far off, say in 2030, where any video you see could be totally made up. A world leader declaring war? Made up. Your boss praising that awful idea you had? Also made up. What a bummer. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is what's coming our way, and fast. Technology is moving a mile a minute, and it's getting harder and harder to know what's real, and what was just made up with a few lines of code. Think for a second about what this means. Not just for the clothes famous people wear, which, let's be honest, is sometimes weird anyway. Think about elections. Think about how countries deal with each other. Think about your own life. Are you ready to question everything? I think you should be. So, how does this digital magic work? How does artificial intelligence or AI create these tricks that look so real? Well, a big part of it is thanks to something called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short. It's pretty simple. Look, they're like two artificial intelligences. One AI, they call it the generator, is the one that makes the fake images or videos. And the other AI, the one they call the discriminator, tries to guess if those things are fake or if they're real. They're kind of in a game with each other, always trying to outsmart one another. The one making the fake stuff gets better and better at it, because the other one, the checker, gets better and better at spotting the fakes. It's like those training scenes in movies, you know? But instead of learning karate, they're learning how to lie with pixels. And they learn really fast. I mean, super duper fast. To learn, they use tons and tons of images and videos. Lots of pictures of faces, voice recordings, and hours of movies. And the more of this information they have, the more real the stuff they create looks. They can copy the faces we make, copy how people talk, and they can even copy the little special ways each person moves. Just imagine, it's like having a copycat on the computer that never sleeps and has seen everyone's photos from all over the world. And this isn't just for making fake videos or photos, you know? They want to create a whole made-up world that seems totally real. A world where it's super hard to know what's real and what's fake. It's not just that the line gets blurry. These digital puppeteers are trying to erase it completely. Now, if you think this is all just for laughs and fun, or maybe just some silly internet jokes, I've got some news for you that's a little bit worrying. The use of these deepfakes in politics isn't just growing, it's blowing up. And that, to put it nicely, is a problem. A big, tricky problem, and one that's bad for our democracy. Just think, an election could change because of a fake video of someone running for office saying something really bad, put out just a few days before election day. The harm could be done before anyone even figures out it's not real. The numbers about this are, honestly, pretty scary. Some reports say the number of fake political videos found online has been doubling, or even tripling, every single year. These aren't like those old, clumsy fake videos anymore. They're getting really well made, much harder to spot, and they're made to cause as much trouble as possible. They go after politicians, people working for change, and even everyday people who just talk about politics. The goal is pretty clear: to mess with what people think, stir up trouble, make the other side look bad, and make people not trust our democracy. It's like a war using information, fought with computer codes and tiny picture dots. It's also super worrying how easy it is to get these tools. Because it's so easy for anyone to make these fakes now, it means the danger is way bigger and much harder to control. You know, dangers on the internet feel a lot more real when they happen to famous folks. People have used deep fakes of folks like Trump and Musk. You know, fake videos to trick people or twist what they actually said. And hey, this isn't just a joke, okay? Because people can lose real money because of this. These days, anyone can have their identity stolen online. So, before you believe everything you see, just stop and think for a second. Is this for real, or is it a trick? Deepfakes are becoming a really powerful tool for propaganda between countries. Countries can use this technology to influence what happens between nations and to create problems for their rivals. Imagine a fake video where a military leader is threatening another one. The danger of a real fight breaking out because of evidence that isn't true is something that could actually happen. We've already seen cases where it looks like deepfakes have been used in disputes between countries. There are reports saying that artificial intelligence, or AI, creates fake content to make people think certain things. What they're trying to do with this is make people lose trust in certain things, or to slowly build a story little by little to make people think a particular way. Sometimes it's like you're constantly being bombarded with small tricks, but together they make people see things differently. This makes it very hard to know who did it. But listen, tech companies are not just standing by. Companies like Google, Meta, and X are investing money in technology to find these fake videos and warn people about them. They're creating artificial intelligence programs to detect deepfakes, looking for tiny details or small signs that give them away. But this is like a race that never stops, and the challenge is really big. It feels like we're in a truth crisis. How do we know if what we see is real or fake? And who decides what's true these days? Social media sites, governments, the folks who check facts. Well, each one has their own way of seeing things. So truth gets pretty slippery. Deepfakes, those fake videos, can trick a ton of people before anyone figures out they're not real. Journalists, the folks who report the news, try super hard to make sure we can trust them, and they check really carefully that everything is true. Sometimes, because they're in a hurry to report the news quickly, they might not check carefully if everything they say is right. Alright folks, let's talk about an idea that seems like it's straight out of one of those future movies, It's called synthetic reality. And it's not just that there are videos or photos that aren't real, okay? Artificial intelligence, AI, can create places and things that happen that look so real, it's super hard to tell the difference. Imagine something like the movie The Matrix if you've seen it, but mixed with the influences you follow and the social media you use every day. So the little line that separates what's real from what's made up is kind of getting a little blurry. But hey, these things created like this can also be used for a ton of good things. For example, for learning in school, with things made just right for each person. Or to help people, like with therapy, but in computer-made places that look real. And don't even get me started on the games and movies that make you feel like you're right inside them. Being able to invent all this new stuff is super exciting. But think about it for a second. What if almost everything we see and experience was made like this, artificial? The news, the stuff that entertains us when we talk to friends, even our memories. Everything could be synthetic. And how would that change the way we understand everything around us? And look, this isn't just about deepfakes, okay? The real challenge will be agreeing on what's really real and what's not. So, with this big wave of computer-made stuff heading our way, what are we gonna do? Do we just give up and let the truth become like an old thing that nobody uses anymore in the future? I hope not. People are trying to find ways to fix this, but none of them are like a magic wand that fixes everything right away. One idea that people talk about a lot is using something called blockchain. The idea is that blockchain could keep a record like proof that something is real and that proof can't be changed. Sounds good, right? But there are some problems. For this idea of using blockchain to know if something is real to work, lots and lots of people have to use it. Who checks if something is real the very first time before it's saved on the blockchain? And what if the first video or picture is already a trick or a lie? The blockchain can tell you if a file changed, but it doesn't always tell you if what's inside it was true from the very beginning. It's like a tool that helps, but it doesn't fix every problem. Another very important thing is to learn about what we see on the internet, TV and stuff like that. And I mean really learn, all of us, starting when we are small children. We need to teach people to think hard about things and not believe everything right away. And it's not just telling kids not to believe everything they see on the internet. The idea is for people to not just look at or read things, but to ask if they are true and think carefully about them. So, now that we're in 2025, looking towards 2030, the big question is, will you be able to tell what's real from what's fake? The honest answer is, it's going to be super hard. The job of figuring out what is falling more and more on us, on each of us. And let's be honest, we're already tired. We're already drowning in so much information. Adding deepfake detective to our daily to-do list is like a lot to ask. So the invitation isn't just for you to know this problem exists and that's it. It's a call for you to dare to ask questions, to look closely, to doubt. But not to doubt so much that we get paranoid and don't trust anything or anyone. That path leads to craziness, or at least to having a very lonely Facebook or Instagram. It's about finding a balance. It's about growing a healthy doubt, being willing to compare information, to look for different sources, and to understand the biases in all kinds of content, whether it's made by humans or AI. Think about the stuff you see and hear every day. How much of it do you believe right away? How often do you check where it came from or look for proof that it's true? As AI-made stuff gets more common and better made, these habits will become super important skills to get by in the information age. So go ahead, question everything, and maybe, just maybe, we'll figure this out.